let's look at a different example. So going through my steps again, first step, I'm going to label. First step, let's label this thing. H, O, and A, right? Label H, O, A. Okay, so coming in here, I'm going to label my hypotenuse first across from the right angle. Then I need to locate where theta is, right here. Here's theta. So that I can locate my opposite side, the side that's furthest away from theta, and my adjacent side, the leg that is closest to theta. All right, so now I have everything labeled. 2, I'm going to use SOHCAHTOA. So I can figure out which trig formula I'm using. All right, let's see what they have given me. So I'm looking for H, so that's important. Got to have the H because that's what I'm looking for. And then which one did they give me? They gave me A. So in this case, O, not important. It doesn't give me anything. It doesn't tell me anything. I'm not looking for it, no, and I don't know what length it is, so it doesn't help me. So now I need to locate what part of SOHCAHTOA has both the A and the H in it. So SO is out and TOA is out. I'm going to be using cosine. So set up my cosine ratio. Cosine theta is equal to A over H, right? CAH for ca. And now I'm going to plug in. Cosine 55 is equal to A, which in this case is 4, over H, which is unknown. So I'm just going to leave it as X. That's supposed to be a 55. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and solve for X. I've got cosine 55 is equal to 4 over X. So 4 is currently being divided by X. So again, going to multiply by that denominator to get rid of it. I'll end up with X times cosine 55 over here. Let's move this over a little bit so we can see a little bit better. Go. All right, so I have X cosine 55 is equal to 4. That's what I've now been left with. Again, still trying to get X by itself. So I need to get rid of this cosine 55. And remember that cosine 55, even though it is letters, it is a number. So I'm allowed to divide by it. I know that they're currently being multiplied because that's the inverse operation that I use to get it over there. Cosine. Back. There you go. Cosine 55. Again, wrapping. You don't have to wrap it in parentheses every time. Just my S's look like 5. So I'm trying to make sure it's not confusing. So I have X is equal to 4 divided by cosine 55. Again, just type it into my calculator. 4 divided by, hit my cosine button, 55, close the parentheses, and it looks like I get 6.97. Boom. So I know that this might look a bit intimidating, but it is pretty simple algebra process. Just don't be freaked out by using cosine, sine, or tangent. They are just functions, and they just do things to your numbers, meaning cosine 55, that's a number. In our previous example, whenever we had sine 50, that's a number. So you get to treat them like numbers. You can divide by them, you can multiply by them, and whatnot. And if it helps you, you could always turn it into a decimal first. All right, let's see if we have another example. All right, given triangle DOG, find DG. So again, we have that first step of labeling, label, and then I'm gonna SOHCAHTOA. And then after that, I'm gonna solve. All right, label my hypotenuse right here. And if you want to try to pause the video and label by yourself, I would recommend it because labeling is honestly the hardest part whenever it comes to doing right triangles and trigonometry. All right, so we have our hypotenuse. I've circled theta, so I know where it is. Opposite of theta is going to be the side furthest away, and adjacent to theta will be the leg that is right next to it. So now that I'm all labeled, let's go ahead and see what we're working with. I'm looking for H, so that one's really important. And I'm given O. Given O. So that means that A is unimportant, don't need it. So I need the one with O and H in it, which is again, so. So I am going to use my sine formula. It's equal to O over H. Sine theta is equal to O over H from SOHCAHTOA. Sine theta is 72 in this case. O is 8.2. And H is X, unknown. Got everything plugged in. And just like before, we're going to solve this with the same process. If the last process was a little bit complicated to you, another way that you can always do this is butterfly multiply. Put sine 71 over 1, and then we can just cross multiply. We'll end up with X times sine 72 is equal to 8.2 times 1, which is just 8.2. And now I can get X by itself. Again, X and sine 72 are held together through multiplication, which means the only way to get rid of them is by division on both sides because it's algebra and we like to keep that equation balanced. And now I end up with 8.2 divided by sine 72. And that brings me to 8.62 as my final answer. All right, y'all. So we already did 3 practice triangles. Feel free to rewind and rewatch them if you were feeling a little bit lost or ask me questions. When you feel like you're ready to move on to the practice and the mastery check, you are good to go. All right. Good luck.